Something happened in September.
Hello, I'm Josh Hayes. I think I've discovered both the exact reason and the exact date the low views on YouTube issue started.
Then Moist Critical amplified it.
According to a bunch of YouTubers, there's been an abnormal drop in views on all of their channels.
Marcus Jones didn't just guess, he pulled the actual data.
YouTube have made some big changes, and I have data from over 500 channels to prove it.
And finally, look at vidIQ, the ultimate authority on YouTube growth.
And more critically, as we move toward the end of the year, our numbers haven't recovered.
Why did this happen? Did the algorithm change again? Now, the gurus have already given you their answer, but they're looking down from the top. They're protected by millions of active viewers. They are safe, we are not. So let me show you the truth from our side, from a small creator who's actually living it. Look at this. I'm not a guru. I'm a part-timer. I've been uploading for about 7 months, starting very slow at first, and honestly, most of my videos are fighting for their life in the algorithm just like yours. I started this channel right before the crash, and I felt every bit of struggle. But then this happened. Right after the September crash, this one video broke out and hit 17,000 views in 10 days. Now, I know to some of you, 17,000 views is laughable. Mr. Beast gets that number in the first 10 seconds of an upload, but I only started uploading in June of 2025. Before that, I was just a spectator. I had never made a video in my life. So for a complete beginner to hit 17,000 views during the crash, that was very unlikely, especially in the YouTube growth niche. Now, I don't say this to brag, but to ask the question, why did the algorithm let this one through? First, we have to acknowledge the truth. Marcus is right. Look at the shelf space today. You have roughly 3 slots at the top, and then boom, a massive wall of shorts. That's it. That's the entire board game for the long form creators. Our average attention span has dropped to a whopping 8.25 seconds. To put that in perspective, my childhood goldfish Cheeto had a 9-second attention span. We literally have less focus than a goldfish. So naturally, as Marcus Jones covered, people are watching more shorts than ever before. The views are simply going to where the attention is. This is exactly what the big YouTubers are furious about. And honestly, I don't blame them. A lot of them relied on that desktop homepage traffic, and when the UI changed, those views disappeared. Now, sure, many of them are still winning. They have the brand authority to survive the storm. But make no mistakes, they took a massive hit, and many of them still haven't recovered. But if the giants are taking a hit, imagine what that does to us. Because now we aren't just competing for attention, we're competing for the same 3 seats against creators who are way more talented, way more experienced, and have way more resources than we do. To kick them out of that seat, our videos can't just be good. They have to be exceptionally well-timed, well-packaged, and well-created. We effectively have to be significantly better than the majority just to be seen on the homepage. And most people stop the analysis there. They say, okay, the bar is higher, get better. But can we please talk about the elephant in the room? The platform is completely saturated. And if you want to know where the flood came from, just take a look at this. AI automation tools have made a massive upgrade in capability, producing real-sounding AI voices using 11 Labs, not just the generic ones either.
All right, so get this. I'm at this new cafe downtown trying to act all sophisticated. Within a...
And with VO3 making videos that used to take a lot more effort, especially now when you pair it with Google Flow, it is effectively a director in a box, allowing anyone to generate cinematic scenes, consistent characters, and complex camera moves from nothing but a simple text prompt.
Once you have all of your clips generated, you can also rearrange them in the sequence with this button. Then you click here and download your scene.
For the last 2 years, the faceless AI gurus have been selling a very specific dream. You can get rich without showing your face and without doing the work. And the problem is, the tools actually worked. AI removed the hard part of creation. A video that used to take 10 hours to script, voice, and edit can now be generated by a faceless channel in minutes. Now, let's be honest. Most of this stuff is pretty generic. It's the same old static AI images, pan and scan with a robotic narration. I mean, we call it AI slop. But here's the danger. Even if it is low effort, it still takes up space. Every time the algorithm tests one of these mass-produced videos, that is an impression that didn't go to us. They are flooding the system with volume. So look at the landscape we're actually standing on. The shrinking homepage screen. We have fewer slots than ever before. The shorts wall, that is eating up 50% of the visual real estate. The faceless clog, millions of automated videos flooding the feed every single day. So let's be clear, using AI is not the problem here. The problem is that the barrier to entry has collapsed. And because everyone can enter, the standard for attention has gone through the roof. To survive this, our content has to be well-positioned, well-timed, well-written, and well-executed. The story has to get better and better. We have to deliver a more satisfying user experience every single time, just so they keep coming back for more. Think of it like this. Once we finally earn our way to the homepage, we have to do everything in our power to fight to keep that viewer for good. Because in this environment, every click matters so much more than ever before. But even if we make the perfect video, we're relying on one dangerous assumption. We assume that the viewer is actually looking for us. We picture our subscribers waking up, opening the app, and actively hunting for our new video in their feed. Now, I know I'm gonna get some immediate pushback here.
But I look for my subscriptions. I look for my favorite creators.
And look, I do too. But we have to be careful not to assume that everyone uses the app the same way we do, because the data points a very different picture. Just listen to Todd Beaupre, the guy who literally runs YouTube's discovery system.
Another challenge that we hear audiences share with us is sometimes it's just like there's too many choices. And they open up their homepage, and on the positive side, there's lots of good recommendations, but on the downside, sometimes a viewer can just feel paralyzed by like, oh, do I want to watch that one, or I'm not sure about this one, and just sort of like all that decision making makes it kind of less fun. And so we're also exploring opportunities, how we could just kind of make the design and the interface feel more entertaining, more fun.
You see, they're letting YouTube choose because choosing is exhausting. They don't want to do the work of finding entertainment. The homepage does that work for them. So if we aren't on that homepage, we are asking the viewer to go do the work to find us. And most of the time, they won't do it. And in an era of infinite choice, being hard to find means our channel will never grow. Remember, the algorithm is effectively following the audience. If the majority of the audience wants fewer choices to choose from, guess what YouTube's going to do? They're going to show fewer choices. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is a business and it has to keep its users happy. So let's answer the question that I started with. Why did this specific video break out to 17,000 views when most of my other videos are still stuck in the hundreds or low thousands? How did it survive despite the reduced homepage real estate, despite the massive amount of shorts viewers are watching, and despite the flood of generic AI content clogging the system? The answer is in the data. First, look at the retention. In the first 24 hours, when YouTube tested this in suggested and search, the graph and data didn't just stop there, it was pretty high. That proved to the algorithm that this wasn't just clickbait, it was satisfying the viewer. And then second, the packaging. I used a specific outlier style for the title and thumbnail, and ironically, guess who used that exact same style months later? Marcus Jones. And he used it on his own mega outlier video that he just published recently. That isn't a coincidence. It proves the theory. That specific packaging style cuts through the noise. It worked for me and it worked for the giants. And the third factor, the timing. We had just gone into the Thanksgiving break. People were home, they had time, and I positioned this video to catch that specific wave of attention. And it turned out to be a memorable Thanksgiving for me, not just because I got to be with my family for another year, but because my video blew up right there on Thanksgiving. I couldn't have asked for a better one. So it wasn't a glitch and it wasn't luck. The metrics, the retention, the packaging, and the timing were undeniably outliers. The algorithm didn't pick me randomly. It picked me because I gave it exactly what it wanted at exactly the right time. This video here shows you how I did it.